When starting a new series, the best possible outcome is that series becoming one of your favorites. On the other hand, we either lose or have no interest and drop the series then and there. With only one volume in my possession, I am on a quest to see if I could reach the end of the ongoing series, Dan.
Time to get volume 11.
It's no secret that they were outmatched by this new alien threat. Ira and the Evil Eye escaped through the skin of their teeth. Oakron lost his golden ball and was almost abducted. Finally, even though Momo won her fight, she might have to deal with the slit-mouthed woman when she returns to the real world. I'm hoping that they all get back on their feet by the end of Volume 11. So Momo becomes weakened after the fight and gets surrounded by Serpoians. Seeing all the clones turn back to normal, Momo's situation goes from bad to worse. Technically speaking, Momo is still their target. Having the common enemy defeated, this was the perfect chance for the Serpoians to capture her. So what happened? Serpo sends the clones away and calls a truce for now. He still needs Momo's assistance to take down this new enemy in order to get back what was stolen. Also, if Serpo let Momo get captured at this point, then there wouldn't have been anyone to save her. We find out that these new enemies are able to use transmission systems like the pyramids and the Kofun burial mounds to warp to and from Earth. It's most likely that in the world of Dan, these monuments were either made or modified by aliens. Momo and Serpo go back to the real world and head to a manga cafe for the night to avoid the slit-mouthed woman. The slit-mouthed woman takes over the receptionist of the manga cafe. This ability of hers is very concerning. Since she's a very powerful spirit, could she control multiple people at the same time? Could she also control people with abilities like Okoron, for example? Hopefully we don't get to see it in the story. As Momo tries to get some rest, Serpo attempts to stab her in her sleep. This looks 100% sketchy. I'm not sure what he's trying to do, but the contraption he uses looks different from the one used in Chapter 1. Luckily, Serpo fails his attempt as the slit-mouthed woman wakes Momo up. We get a bit of interesting interaction between Serpo and the slit-mouthed woman, but this causes Momo to basically cover the mirror and survive another night. Momo returns home and sees what happened to Ira, Gigi, and Okoron. The true MVP is Mr. Shrimp. If it wasn't for him nursing their wounds, they probably wouldn't have survived. Momo proceeds to attack Vamola and tells her she never wants to see her again. Having been told by the enemy that Vamola was essentially their scout, I can understand why Momo doesn't want Vamola around anymore. In Momo's eyes, Vamola is the main reason her friends are in the current condition. After Vamola leaves, Momo and Serpo concluded that the enemy will be at a nearby Kofu burial mound. Harking back to the transmission systems from chapter 86, Momo has a way to bring the fight to the enemy. So it looks like the next time they fight, it will be in space. With Ira and Gigi up, Momo tells them that she kicked Vamola out because she was a spy for the enemy. Not being fully convinced, Gigi tells Momo that Vamola might be innocent. I personally side with Gigi on this matter. I believe Vamola is an innocent bystander that the enemy used to find out about Earth. The two begin to argue but eventually stop because of Okuran. Even in his current state, Okuran still tries to keep the peace between his friends. Momo then takes Ira, Gigi, and Mr. Shrimp to Serpo. Serpo tells them that since the enemy was able to take Okuran's golden ball, the main forces will be coming in 5 days. So we now have a time limit of when the Earth will be invaded. What I find interesting is that the amount of time until the alien forces arrive is currently the same amount Momo has to survive the slit-mouthed woman. Let's put that information to the side for now. To prevent the invasion from happening in 5 days, the group needs to take Okuran's golden ball back. In order to do that, they have to train. So this chapter is pretty much a chance for readers to catch their breath as Momo tries to reshape her home to safely transport Okuran to a new location. Serpo leads them to where the Nagi hospital once stood. They can use the bunker as shelter and radio waves prevent them from being located. As convenient as it sounds, I am not sold that this location is safe from potential surprise attacks. This was the Serporians' old hideout and the enemy has found it before. To train against the enemy, the group uses combat simulators that create holograms from memory. This is probably the best thing for the group right now. In a short amount of time, they can study the attack patterns and weak points of these aliens. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Training is not going well. Ira is the only one capable of using her powers effectively during combat. Mr. Shrimp's punches are strong, but are useless if they don't make contact. Gigi's powers are still too weak against the enemy, and the Evil Eye has no interest in fighting them. Even Momo and her Moe Moe Tri-Beam is only good for one shot. Taking a break, Momo then tries to get in touch with her grandmother to no avail. Story-wise, this is a good thing. Since Seiko is not there to aid them in their battle with these powerful aliens, it forces Momo and the rest of them to get stronger if they want to prevail. With 10 p.m. fast approaching, Momo prepares herself for another sleepless night. Fortunately for her, Gigi is able to cover her ears and block out the noise with his chi. With that, Momo survives the third night against the slit-mouthed woman. Let's take the fact that Momo has to endure 4 more nights of this. There's also 4 more days until the enemy's main forces arrive on Earth. I'm thinking one of 2 things is going to happen. 1. The slit-mouthed woman prevents them from retrieving Okuran's golden ball on the 4th day, which causes the enemy forces to arrive on the 5th day. Or 2. While fighting the aliens on the 4th day, it takes longer than expected, which causes the slit-mouthed woman to appear, distracting them from their actual goal. Either way, I'm betting that the aliens invade the Earth in the next volume. Okuran finally wakes up, but out of his body. He finds Momo to figure out what's happening, but soon finds out that no one can see or hear him. After hearing how bad the current situation is, the phone rings. Okwon tries to answer it, but instead travels through the phone line and ends up where Seiko and Turbo Granny are. In the midst of battle, Seiko is able to spot Okwon and quickly takes care of the spirit she was fighting. Honestly, this is but another problem to add onto the pile. It also brings up more questions. Did Okwon really die, or is this some new power he acquired? Luckily, Seiko is able to see him and will get things situated in the next volume. There was no fighting in this volume, but a lot of information was presented. With how dire things are, this volume was actually the calm before the storm. Seeing that we are close to the 100th chapter, things are gonna get hectic in volume 12. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.